Yeah, a very sad day for a lot of people here in the crowd outside the Scottish Parliament. People have come down here for an anti-Brexit protest, and there's also a lot of people here really supporting the idea of Scottish independence. People telling me they just feel they haven't been listened to. And there was quite a poignant moment just a few moments ago as 11 p.m. Here in the UK time, Britain left the EU, Scotland left the EU, and people here burst into song. There are bagpipes playing and quite a few tears among the crowd. And I'm joined by some of the people who are in the crowd. Andrew Taylor, an 18-year-old student from Glasgow. How are you feeling, Andrew, at this moment now?
The whole thing's just sort of raw at the moment. It's been quite a tough day for me, and I've just felt sort of low. It feels like you are losing a big part of yourself. I am European, I will always be European, and I just feel like it's just been taken from me. I've had no say in that, and it's just been taken.
And you're telling me earlier you're 18 years old, obviously you couldn't even vote in the Brexit referendum. I mean, how does that make you feel?
It annoys me that it's me and that my generation will be affected by this, and we will grow up with this, and it's not even us that have voted for it. The ones who will be worst affected by this will be the ones who have to endure it for the longest and got no say in it whatsoever.
And do you support Scottish independence now going forward?
I do support Scottish independence. I think all you need to do is look at what's happening in the square here at the Scottish Parliament compared to Parliament Square down in England and see the two parliaments are completely different. We're no longer compatible. It's not about hate, it's not about anything. It's just we no longer work together as a union. It's not a union of equals, and it can't keep doing this.
All right, thank you very much indeed for your time, Andrew, tonight. I'm also joined here by Moray and her 15-year-old son, Dylan. Thanks very much. Moray, how are you feeling tonight, post-Brexit?
Gutted, disbelief. I just can't believe it's actually happened, because to me it feels like the lies and the untruths that were told during the campaign have won, and it feels like democracy died a little bit. So yeah, I'm gutted.
And Dylan, you're 15. Obviously, a lot of young people have been telling me they're disappointed by today. How are you feeling though?
A bit betrayed almost, because a lot of the benefits that a lot of adults received, they didn't even understand why, and they still voted to take that away from me and my entire generation, and we're going to suffer the brunt of it because of how they voted.
And do you think it will impact your future?
A lot, yeah. I was planning on using Erasmus when I'm at university, and obviously I can't do that because the UK Parliament just voted for that not to happen. I really wanted to think about living somewhere like the Netherlands, and I was even learning Dutch to do that, and that's at risk now.
Moray, when you listen to your son saying that, I mean, it must be really difficult.
It is, because I did do an Erasmus year in France. It really opened my worldview. It made me feel so much more international, more connected. I think if you live and you experience another culture, you grow and develop so much more as a human being, and it just feels like part of a fundamental narrowing, and it makes everything less. So I'm really sad that they're not going to have the same opportunities. It just feels like Britain is moving in on itself in an unhealthy way, and Scotland's being forced to do that as well.
Now, Boris Johnson says you've got to be optimistic, we've got to unite now, it's a new dawn. Does that not stir anything in you coming together after Brexit?
No, it doesn't. Obviously, I hope things aren't a disaster, because, we want the least harm possible to happen. But I think democracy, a lot of it is about how you treat the minorities, and they're basically saying, come together, we've won, put up with it. They're not saying, well, OK, how can we listen to the 48%? There was only a mandate for a soft Brexit. There wasn't a mandate for what is happening just now. So I think it's wishful thinking on Boris Johnson's part.
All right, we'll have to leave there, I'm afraid. Thanks to Dylan, Moray and Andrew there, and echoing many of the voices we've heard tonight here in Edinburgh.